Okay, now we're moving on to. You like my lucky clovers? Hmm, it's not working. So you know, my life's a real fun bag right now. Yeah. So, but that's all right. That's all right. And I heard another reader. I'm sorry, I cannot remember who, but I think it was the autistic mystic. But he said, just when you think you can't possibly have any more, I'm telling you, any more like stuff to weed through and stuff to grow from and stuff to cleanse from and all this. Just when you think that you really hit the limit, like this has got to be the breakthrough moment, right? Right, creator, right? And then you're like, oh, the bottom has a basement. Oh, good. So I get to pick myself up again. Yay! Getting pretty good at it though. I'm pretty resilient now. This last one hurt a lot though. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so what we're talking about here is like an entire town with a coven, and they are energy harvesters and bullies, and they are terrible people, and they're blindly loyal. And this is a problem because when you're blindly loyal to people and you don't use your own discernment, okay, you don't see for yourself, you don't use your own judgment, you don't investigate, you don't check things out, and you just go, oh, that person, oh, you want me to hate them? Okay, I'll hate them with all my heart and soul. It's like, really? Would you like that if that was done to you? Probably not. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm pretty upset because it's trickled into my personal life um, with with my children, with my um, career, with my finances, with my home, with my safety, with my love. So it's just really gotten old. But what they say when you put in a place that's really awful, which is not my this is not my first time being in a terrible place. I've been through terrible marriages, abusive relationships. I've been through uh, terrible jobs, karmic jobs, like where everybody was just racist and terrible. And you just and I'm like, okay, just smile and keep on going and just show them the light and you know but sometimes people don't respect that because they don't understand why you're not lashing back or why you're not flipping out and screaming, yelling, or doing something karmic-y like they are like stalking you or digging through your stuff or whatever, just gross stuff. But um I hope that people take the time to get to know people one on one because I know that um, well, it doesn't feel good to be judged based on other people's opinions, and especially when it's not true. And it's kind of like a snowball effect when you see this like people like kind of like the telephone effect, yeah, like it gets worse and worse, like all this stuff, and it's like none of it's true. I'm just like not this terrible person. I work on myself all the time. I'm really compassionate and empathetic, and I love people and I love helping people. And I hope that the right people will come into my path where that's a mutual thing and it's not just a one-way street like seems to be the last decade. But it's okay. I'm gonna press on. All right. So what else do we have here? Yeah, this town I have, my daughter's had a lot of problems with the schools, and I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be able to talk about that on here just yet because it's just I don't know if anybody has had a child be um, you know, mistreated at school, but it is it's just one of those things that kind of like makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck, and you know when something's wrong, and you're dropping your kid off, and they're terrified to go to school. Terrified. When I say terrified, I mean clawing at you, pissing themselves, terrified, shaking, throwing up, and my kid wasn't the only one. So there's a problem here in this town, and I'm gonna keep speaking about it. You know, no matter how much I get bullied, no matter how much they use the court system to try and, discourage me, no matter how they lie to people I'm talking to or hanging out with or try to be friends with or date. It's just enough, you know? It's just enough. I mean, what world do we live in where people don't want to protect children at school? What kind of principal doesn't want to have it investigated? What kind of teachers stalk a parent who's filed a complaint? And what kind of court system and justice system doesn't do anything about it? Let me tell you what kind. The kind that lives in the town that I live in. And I really hope that my daughter and I suffering here and enduring this battle is gonna shut down a lot of people being hurt and abused, because I have a feeling this has been going on for a long time here, and these people have been getting away with this for a long time here because they're so connected and interconnected that it is it's truly like a gang, but it's almost like worse. It's like family gang, you know? So it's like blood gang. Like not even just like people who know each other, but just like I don't know. It's just it's really challenging to report things to people that are blood relatives of the possible abuser, and they don't tell you that they are, and they take a report. And I think that's really inappropriate, you know? And they should have stepped aside and had somebody else do it. You know, yeah, yeah. Some of the signs, I do a whole video on that. Some of the signs that you can see with abuse and what some of the things I already said, you know. But there are some really crazy stuff that has gone down here that is, I think it's just one of those like good old boy clubs. Like it's just like you know, any bigoted community of any kind, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Let me turn this down a little bit. Sorry, I got a little crazy. I don't really want to listen to soothing sleep music, but I'm trying to do royalty free. So right now, until I get one of those royalty free things, that's what we're dealing with. Okay. So now, I will tell you that it's been really bad. It's been really bad. Unfortunately, my daughter is not in this town at this moment because I'm trying to look at that like a blessing. But people are connected with the court that's connected to the abuser. And when your daughter's been with you every single day of her life for 6.5 years, every single day, every single night, never been away from me, not for a day or a night. And she's been with her dad for 6 months in Florida. because I'm sure it has nothing to do with my complaints about abusing my daughter in this town. Okay, so staying strong here, and we will carry on. Let's see. So, what else? Oh, yeah, I have some really awesome stuff here. I think I talked about this in my last video somewhere. My neighbor had stolen my mail, and I thought she was a friend of mine. I really enjoyed her company. I thought we were cool, and after stealing my mail and apparently signing a deed over to her and her friend, they thought it would be fun to you know, pretend to be my friend until right before Christmas. I guess it'd be about 9 months, because 9 months is how long you have to prosecute or file charges on somebody who has stolen your mail, which I frankly do not find long enough, especially seeing as how do you know? How do you know if someone's stolen your mail? How do you know if somebody's stolen your sign for your official mail? Like, we're talking court documents that have to be, legally signed for, not just like some, you know, flyer you get in the mail. We're talking about real court document, inheritance, adoption paperwork, you know. Yeah, she signed for that. And the only reason I know is because she brought it to me. Apparently, she couldn't do anything with it, and she brought it to me. And told me she felt bad, and I'm so grateful for that. I am. I really am. I mean, there's very few people that have come clean with doing the wrong thing to me and apologized, and she did. So, Becky, thank you. But now I don't know where she is, and I don't know her phone number. And I would really love to talk to her. So anybody knows who I'm talking about, please, message me her phone number. And, I think that there's been, I don't know if anybody's ever known like people who have each other's backs in a blind way, where they just like blindly do whatever they're told, kind of thing, or do whatever they ask. And but it's absolutely terrifying because they're like, they're not thinking for themselves, they're not like going, should we be doing this? Is this person a bad person? Did this person do something wrong? Or did the person who is asking us to stalk, bully, monitor everything they do, like maybe they are the ones that did something wrong, And, there's one thing about having people's backs. I get that. I would love to have somebody at my back. I don't know that I ever have. But like in a way where you're like, it's healthy, or it's not just blind loyalty, but like, that I'm accountable for my actions, just like all these people should be accountable for theirs. I mean, yeah, have your friends back, somebody's being a tool to them and anywhere, and have their back. Yeah, of course, of course. But if it's possible, you might be hurting somebody innocent and a child in the process, maybe think about what you're doing before, maybe just take a look at it. Because do you really want to have someone's back who might be hurting children? It's kind of gross. It's kind of disgusting to think that somebody might defend that blindly, foolishly, I feel like, especially when they have children. And that's what's even worse, So, like, I am pro protecting children at all costs. And, People can bully me around. That's fine. I can take it. It sucks. It hurts. I don't like it, especially when I'm on the right end of things and just trying to do the right thing. But but I'm not going to be quiet and allow that to continue. No way. No way. No way. It deserves to be investigated. And I know my kid's not the only one, which means I'm not the only one that's been bullied, which means this has been going on for a long time, I'm guessing. So I hope the authorities hear this. I know there's some programs out there that look into this kind of thing for trafficking and for child abuse and in systemic institutions. It's a systemic problem in institutions that needs to stop. Yeah. And I never thought in a million years I would ever be pro homeschool, but I would do that before I ever put my kid back into another program ever, you know? And I don't think it's just schools, and it's, like in Lutz, Florida, they just had was it a gym teacher, or I thought it was gym teacher, but I don't know, gym teacher, science teacher, I don't know, something. And he was like, it was like 30 years. 30 years. How many complaints got dismissed? How many kids got ignored? How many parents got bullied by their family having their back and, harassing the person to back off, filing false reports on them? That's called retaliation, and it's illegal. Okay? And this town did that, and nothing's been done about it. So, like I said, having somebody's back when they're innocent and when they're on the right side of things, I get that. I would love to have that someday. But possibly defending a child abuser is just, it makes me want to throw up, Use your discernment. Use your brains. Think about what you're doing. Do you think people file false complaints for no reason? That's ridiculous. That didn't come out right, but I'm sorry. I like to have my grammar correct, as much as possible, but that did not come out right. And it was not a Freudian slip. It happened in the preschool. It started in the preschool, and it continued because I guess whoever I complained about in the preschool also had family in the elementary school, and they took that as an opportunity to bully my child for telling the truth about what was done to her. And it's disgusting that I'm being thrown into the microscope instead. So I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting real tired of victims being put on trial and perpetrators, probably chronic abusers, have a whole town having their back. I wonder how many people had the back of the dude who is molesting children for 30 years in Wesley Chapel or Lutz, Florida. How many people had their back? How many children could have not been molested if someone had listened? Are we done with this, people? Are we done with attacking the victims? We say tell, but why? Nobody listens. Nobody does anything. I don't know. But I'm going to stand up for my kid. Because a mother knows when a child is having a trauma response, which includes messing themselves when they're potty trained, very well potty trained. shaking, vomiting, and terror, begging and pleading not to go to school. And if anybody wants me to call me paranoid, go ahead. I don't care. But if your child is shaking, throwing up, and pleading with you not to go to school, you'd probably think something's wrong. They start messing themselves and they're fully potty trained, you're probably going to think something, maybe something's going on here. You know, this is weird. She should be happy to go to, preschool or kindergarten. It should be fun, not terrorizing, not terrifying, trauma terrifying. So I didn't think I was going to get this deep into this, but I need to, because it's affecting my living situation and my child situation, and with my abusive ex. Yep. So it's just wrong, It's just wrong. With some things, there's very little gray area, and this is one of them. And you don't think karma's going to come for that on an innocent person who's telling the truth, who's trying to protect her daughter, who's trying to stop other children from possibly being hurt. You don't think that's going to carry some heavy karma? You might get away with it here in the 3D. You might. So far, they have been. They've been bullying me like crazy. I've gotten in my way about everything I've tried to do here, and gotten between my child and I. Yep. It's worked. But has it? I mean, really? Is that really working? Is that going to work for them long term? Definitely not. Because nobody escapes karma, good or bad. And we're due for some good ones.